Hi everyone, I'm glad you're here once again to take your time to watch me. Did you feel that 4.0 earthquake that occurred south of Lake Tahoe? There has been a small swarm in the last 24 hours of 23 earthquakes. 685 people said they felt this earthquake, and it was given an intensity level of 4, which means it was felt indoors by many people, outdoors by a few. At night, some may have been woken up. Well, it was early. If they were napping, they probably were woken up. Dishes, windows were rattling. Automobiles rocked noticeably. I marked out a few of the earthquakes that were larger than a magnitude 2. And this is the location of that earthquake, or those earthquakes. Yeah, we got the 4.0. And let's bring it out. We got White Lake to the north. And down over here to the south is Lake Tahoe. Back in 2008, there was an earthquake swarm. Not along any known fault lines, but the largest was a magnitude 5.1. And all of you may have remembered the earthquake swarm that was occurring back in 2021 that started with a magnitude 4.2. This area is capable of having a magnitude 7 or greater earthquake. Yeah, that would cause a lot of damage. Not far from here, in 1914, there was a magnitude 6.4. In 1869, also a 6.4. 1868, a 6.0. And in 1887, a 6.5. Let's see, 1869 is 6.2. This would probably be along the Mount Rose fault zone and Genoa fault zone. These two fault zones are probably the most deadliest ones in the location of Lake Tahoe. And let's bring this up. Reno. There is more than likely a lot of new people that have moved to the area and don't realize the earthquake hazard. Some of the reports sent into EMSE, this one here was in Lemon Valley. We live a few miles from the epicenter. There was a large rumble that you could hear, then a jolt. We just had another one at 5:28 p.m. Okay, another one says, felt it, then things in the house shook. Sounded deep, scared the cats a bit. That was in Reno. Another one from Reno says, Stead area, building shook, one quick jolt. Kids, kind of like a semi backing up into a dock. Just a little too hot, it says. Another one from Northwest Reno at Terrace Baseball Field. Felt 2 mild jolts. USGS originally had it as a magnitude 3.9, and surprisingly, they upgraded it to a 4.0. This one here from Reno says they could hear it before it hit, very strong for a 3.9. Yeah, that was their initial report. Another one from Birdie, lasted for a long time. Another one from Reno, shook our sofa and houseplants. Another one from Reno. Significant roller felt in Reno, 5:23 p.m. I experienced light movement and a little dizzy. Sparks, Nevada. That one said they didn't feel it. Facing east, sitting on the couch, felt a small jolt, then light rolling. That was in Reno. Brief swaying. In South Reno, didn't feel a thing. I was sleeping. It shook me awake. There's someone that was sleeping. Like many huge semis or a train going by would shake if you were about 20 feet away from it. I'll give you a link to this article. It's from Courthouse News Service. And it says the real concern is about how they could have a larger earthquake, maybe a magnitude 7. It would displace the ground maybe 10 to 20 feet. And then for the Lake Tahoe Basin, it could create a tsunami as high as 30 feet high. When they had that swarm back in 2021, and I covered it, I talked about many areas where there was landslides and past tsunamis. Past tsunamis actually brought the water all the way, probably towards Echo Lake. Yeah, I did have it all drawn out, but as you know, yeah, that data I lost. I believe Meeks Bay was an area where they had landslides and tsunami, and also over here by Dollar Point. Can you imagine having a tsunami 30 feet high? And then from what I remember, up over here, there's actually a fault zone that runs right underneath one of the elementary schools. In this article, to create a tsunami there at the lake, they would need at least a magnitude 6.0, it says. The last time an earthquake that happened in Lake Tahoe was 5,000 years ago, and that was probably going back to the date of the tsunami. So when they do start having earthquake swarms in the area, yeah, they are concerned. Any earthquake does have a 20% chance of being a foreshock for something much larger. Yeah, 20% chance. And over on the east side, where the Rosemount Fault Zone is at, you can see all the magnitude 6s that they have had in the past, dating back to, I believe the oldest one is 1868. Yeah, there was actually a swarm of them back then. And then 1914. The largest looks like that I could find. Yeah, I was working on this before I did this video. Looks like maybe a 6.5. That was near Carson City in 1887. On this other document, they have a map of the Carson Range Fault System. And this is the two faults. They actually run into each other. They also have a scenario page for the Mount Rose Fault System, showing what could occur if there was a magnitude 6.9 earthquake. Be intensity level 9. Let's click on this if I can. There we go. Yeah, how far the damage would go out. Document from publicworksnevada.gov. Probability of a 6.5 or greater earthquake in the next 50 years. Now here in yellow is all for Nevada. And let's see which ones have the largest threat. Okay, Reno and Carson City. Minden, Virginia City, 50 to 60%. South Lake Tahoe, 45%. Yerington, Nevada, 40 to 45%. Hawthorne, Nevada, 30 to 40%. And yeah, then it gets lesser. Beatty, Nevada, 30%. Fallon, 20 to 25%. This document also says there is a good chance that you will experience a major earthquake. There are at least 30 faults that could cause damage in the Reno-Carson City urban corridor. So here we got Lake Tahoe. We got Carson City. Let's bring this up a little bit. Pyramid Lake. Yeah. The probability of at least one magnitude 6.5 or greater event in the next 50 years is between 50 and 60% for Reno, Carson City, Minden urban area. Hazards include intense ground shaking, rupture of the ground. Yeah, it could rupture upward of maybe like 20 feet. Liquefaction, landslides, fires, and hazardous waste spills. Think of all the chemicals and oil. Now, this scenario evidently was 23 years ago, and they feared there would be $55 million per year in losses, including $28 million per year for the Las Vegas area. Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Nancy. I hope she's prepared. And $18 million per year for the Reno area. Again, this is data from 23 years ago. You can see here how the Mount Rose fault system goes down into the Genoa fault system. Let's bring this down. So about 573 years ago, there was a large earthquake on the Genoa Fault that lifted up the ground 5 meters, which is about 16 feet. This is one of the reasons you need a tool to shut off your gas and water. They figure for the Genoa Fault, there would be 400 to 1,500 people needing medical aid, 100 to 400 people needing hospital care, 20 to 60 life-threatening injuries, and between 30 to 120 fatalities. Once again, this is data from 23 years ago. A lot more people live there, a lot more buildings, a lot more infrastructure. And then they have an intensity shake map. Yeah, red being the most extreme. And we'll bring this down. Red would be intensity level of 9. Orange would be intensity level 8. And yellow would be 7. So up where the recent earthquakes have occurred, we got dark orange and light orange and probability. Let me bring this over. Okay, 50% and 40%. Yeah. So to update this data, this would be a scenario within the next 30 years. So in the box down below this video, for those of you that do have access to look at that data, I'll give you links to all this. More recently, there was a 1.2, a 2.0, another 2.0, and a 2.5. And let's bring it down. Let's see, we got a 2.1. I want to go to that 4.0 right there. And the depth of this earthquake was 4.4 miles. There was also a magnitude 3.1 earthquake that 45 people said they felt. They gave that an intensity level of 3. Well, how did your pets react? Did you get dizzy from this earthquake like the others reported? I am sure you're still feeling some small tremors. They don't report them all, as you know. Alright, let's zoom into where that 4.0 occurred. But are you earthquake prepared? Do you have things bolted to the walls? And do you have a wrench or something to turn off your gas and your water? Do you have things removed from where you may be sleeping at night? Do you have locks on your cupboard doors? Yeah, all that. Oh, we got a population over here to the right. Okay, Silver Lake. Yeah, you should be prepared. You need to be prepared. The government is going to be too busy to come and rescue you. Yeah, they're going to be dealing with fires and other things, people trapped. Yeah, to come to your rescue. So you need to do what you can to be prepared. Yeah, not depend on the government. See, we got, I don't know what building that is, but down over here, that very well could be a water tank. I don't know. But think of the gas stations. Okay, we got some more water tanks over here. And some more facilities. Yeah. Do you have medical supplies that have more than just a few bandages? Do you have tourniquets? Yeah, heavy duty things like gauze and packs to stop the bleeding. Yeah. I have even a skin stapler. Yeah. So please put that information down below, what you felt. And I appreciate you all watching. Thank you very much. And I'll talk to you later. God bless you. Bye.